Hello Orchid friends, welcome back to my channel. Wherever you are, I hope you're having a great day, staying healthy and staying safe. Today we have two Phalaenopsis yellow Pixie in this video that we are going to look at. These two are the last two of the 6 that I have acquired. These two I bought them after I moved to Austin, Texas. And I got them at Trader Joe's. So if you have any Trader Joe's in your local areas, go and check them out. Check out their orchids. Sometimes you may get lucky. I got lucky 2 other times in addition to this time, but I got my first 4 yellow pixies at the Trader Joe's in New York City. Each time I always got myself 2, even though I already have a few, and I just can't let them go, right? They produce really strong fragrance. It's very perfumey and it's super sweet. There's no citrusy or fruity flavor. It's really just sweet and perfumey. So I sometimes even describe that smell to be almost like maple syrup. Very, very sugary sweet scent. They've almost always bloom with double spikes. And this time around, the same thing. These two, they shoot out double spikes, and I wasn't gonna argue with that, right? They're also sequential bloomers too, but what I have noticed in the past is that yes, they will elongate during the next bloom cycle. They'll elongate their old spikes, but it was never as vigorous or produce as many buds as new spikes would. So knowing that they would do that, then I typically would just cut the flower spikes after they're done with their blooming and not keep the spike for the following bloom cycle, because I want them to grow better, thicker spikes to have more blooms. But I have other 4 orchids that are also similar. They're my Leodoros and Sweet Memory M's. I keep their spikes because doesn't matter if it's old spike or new spikes, they always tend to give me 2, maybe 3 flowers at a time. From new or old spikes, the same thing. So that way, I know that that's how they do. So I always keep their spikes. Whereas these two, for yellow pixies in general, I now always cut their spikes off, so that the following cycle would also, essentially reset and give them a chance to have a brand new bloom cycle, if you will. In terms of care, they currently receive anywhere between 1/8 of a cup to 1/4 cup amount of water, and it really depends. Sometimes I give them 1/4 cup, sometimes I give them 1/8 of a cup. If you want to kind of gauge how I do it, in winter time when the temperature is lower, evaporation is slower, I usually give them 1/8 of a cup. In summertime, or spring, 1/4 cup. But I kind of go in between sometimes, depending on what I see, and if I feel they need more water, I would give them a little bit more water. But overall, the total amount is between 1/4 cup and 1/8 of a cup. Fertilizer is always quarter strength for these two. They seem to get enough from just 25%. And the media I'm using for these orchids are a mixture of hydrocorn and manto clay. The ratio typically is 1:1, sometimes 1:2, manto clay being a little bit more. Hydrocorn is almost like leca beads, where it's, I think we call that expanded clay. Manto clay, though, it is just clay pebbles, but it's solid and it's a lot more dense and heavier. So you can kind of think of it as, they kind of just break up the clay or clay pots material and just break them into pieces to make manto clay. Manto clay is a substrate material used for bonsai, and I got manto clay from Bonsai Jack. And you can look them up if you want. And I think they also ship internationally, but they're in the United States, so it was easier for me to get them. Now, in this video you can see the leaves are relatively similar size. The older leaves, newer leaves, they'll have the similar size, and that tells me that these orchids are probably reaching their maturity where they're not going to get any more any bigger. And that's good, because I've had these for a couple years already, at least 4 years. So they're mature. Now I know how they act and how they do, so my care would just be as usual. For example, the water, the fertilizer, the light source, and also cut their spikes off when they're done blooming. Some people ask me why I use double cup methods, and so I will use this opportunity to quickly respond. The inner cup has holes, but using double cup method allows me to leave some excess water at the bottom, and then the water would get through the drainage hole into the inner cup, so that way it gives me an opportunity to convert it back to semi-hydro, which these two orchids were in. They were in semi-hydro setup, and then this method actually gives me the opportunity to go between semi-hydro and traditional setup if I want to. And then the outer blue cup is simply used to, well, for aesthetic reason, and then to block out sunlight, so that way there's no algae formation. It's worked out pretty well, and these orchids, they bloom every year. They're really hardy and reliable. My first set, they are more peloric, and then the second set, and this two, they're the same regular form, cultivar. The first two, I got them, it was peloric, and it's interesting. And I'm glad that I got the regular cultivar too, because that way I can have slightly different varieties to look at. Overall, I really think I got lucky, but the fact that I have gotten these on 3 separate occasions means that from time to time, Trader Joe's will get these from their suppliers. And I remember, if I remember correctly, I always got them in springtime. So coming, the springtime, hopefully you see this video right around your springtime, so that way you can check out your local grocery store, Trader Joe's, and see if they carry this particular cross. And if you come across them, at least get 2, because next time around, you don't know when that is going to be. So get 2. So that way you have a backup if one of them decides to somehow give you issues, or somehow you killed it, and you will still have 1 to tie you over until next time. This is all I have for you today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to get more orchid related videos from my channel, please subscribe and turn on the notification. I want to wish you happy growing, and I will talk to you in my next video. Ciao!